All right, welcome back to the USA campaign. After a few days hiatus to work on the British one, and I eventually need to get back to the Russian one too. So, because I'm going to complete all three, do or die. One of the reasons, so I had to run a single day because a bunch of my ships were up in San Francisco, and I had to bring them down to San Diego just for ease of combining and reorganizing the fleet. And of course, the day is not actually. I don't think the day's ticked over. So it's complaining about like, oh, I don't have any rubber, despite the fact I'm trading for a bunch. But I just want to show you why having rubber is such a big deal. So just take a look here. A lot of these lines with no rubber, they're not going to produce at all. I mean, look at the heavy bombers here. 15 factories, got a bunch of aluminum, no rubber, nothing coming out. Just completely dead. That is why Malaya here, with their rubber, and the Dutch East Indies are so critical. If you lose all of that, there's basically no rubber for the source of the Allies. I mean, yes, I could sit back and start trying to spam, synthetic refineries, but with how much rubber the United States needs and consumes, that's not realistic. It just isn't. I mean, taking a look at our rubber, let's see how much we're using. Yeah, we're using 100 rubber. And I think even a maxed out synthetic refinery with rubber is 8. And that's with all the techs. And we've been doing none of the techs, so it is absolutely critical that we keep the trade lanes open here. Now, one of the to get around that, believe me, I could just dump 24 divisions in the Philippines right there, and as soon as the war happens, I could fan them out and start guarding things. But I view that as way too cheap. So what I'm going to do instead is, of course, I'm going to have my guys on the mainland. I've got my island garrison set up. That is an exception. All these islands had little garrisons before, so I'm keeping them out there. That's nothing new. And I've built up some radar on some locations that probably needs to be improved in a little bit. But do I have any text that give me good radar? Excuse me, focuses. No, I think I just need to start going on that. So we're going to get that action, and then let's take a quick look at the fleet composition. So basically, this is, we're going to call the reserve fleet, because this is where they're going to train, or I'm going to hold ships in reserve. But just for a quick look, the Ranger historically went to the Atlantic, so we're sending it there with some of the battleships I could remember that were actually in the Atlantic and were used for things like shore bombardment on D-Day and Operation Torch. The Pacific Fleet, this is the main battle fleet over there. It's going to be under Nimitz. Of course, we've got our 4 flat tops. We impose the rule, we cannot build any carriers, or we could not have any other carriers. No, we could not start building new carriers until 1941. That was right. Of course, we just ticked over into 1941, and we're doing the focus for carrier primacy. So we will probably be researching some new carriers pretty quick here, but we want to get the speed boost going first. We may do some new battleships too. We've really not been focusing too much on our fleet. Looking at what we've been building, it's been a bunch of submarines, which is good. Submarines are nice, cheap, and very cost effective. In fact, if you just want to win against the AI, you can just build nothing but submarines, and the AI will not be able to cope with you. But once again, I'm not doing things I know that break the living hell out of the AI. Other than that, we're doing a bunch of destroyers to make sure our trade lanes stay open, and we'll probably be doing basically what we research next. Probably better destroyers, or maybe some, we need to pour some time into some naval techs here. Some things like fire control, or especially damage control, would be really nice. You could see we do have a good chunk of Navy experience saved up. I am trying to wait and see if I can fund the Navy first, because that'll have the cost of 3 naval doctrines, which of course then allow us to roll in with that experience and grab 3 naval techs instead of just 2 that we could currently get, and also far cheaper, because that'd be only 150 to get 3 techs here. So, of course, we're continuing to pump out new ships in San Diego, and they're training here. We do have an Atlantic submarine fleet, rather large setup of 54 ships. So we'll probably sneak those into the Mediterranean, would be my guess, because the UK still holds Gibraltar, and we'll see what we can snipe out here. Possible. Maybe there'll be some good hunting in Bay of Biscay or the English Channel, depending on what Germany's doing. I'm not really sure. Taking a look at the overall situation too, is Italy has started to break out to the south a little bit. Remember, I was impressed that the UK had actually lost El Alamein, managed to fight and retake El Alamein, and hell, they've pushed out one tile. But basically, Egypt has not collapsed, so we may send some troops to North Africa, but the long way around, we'll see. My point is, we may need a presence here in the waters just off of the Red Sea here and off the East African coast, because we might actually help UK retake this territory just to mop up this theater, so we're not worried about it exploding and coming into the rear of Egypt. And also, if we have to do a North Africa campaign, it is very hard to simulate an Operation Torch in this game for the main reason of the way mechanics work. So let's take a look. So I could justify a war goal on Vichy France, and I may do that. But other than that, there's no kind of easy decision or anything to invade Vichy France and simulate the torch landings here in North Africa. I know sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the British AI will actually justify a war goal on Vichy France. I don't know if they'll do that this time. So that's something I will look into and I will consider for some torch landings. Obviously, Japan has not conquered China yet, which is also wonderful because it means they can have a bunch of troops tied up there. Of course, that is historical. China never fell to Japan. I mean, they lost huge swaths of territory, mostly on the coastal regions here and a bit in the north. But the coastal regions were picked off. Of course, the Japan went and took Hong Kong when the war broke out. I think there were some Canadian battalions, maybe the defending, or maybe Canadian Brigade. So yeah, we might have a lesser Japan. I don't know if they'll be able to wrap up the war or not by that time. The other thing I want to take a look at is, no, we can't see any focuses going on with Japan. Taking a look at the spy situation. We're working on it. And we're working on it. What can we see of Germany? The answer's not much either. We do know their plane count's high. We do know they're breathing the snot out of the British, which means our plane count with only that many fighters needs to get raised big time, which is why we're devoting a whole bunch of our next few factories to fighters. In fact, let's boost it up to 35. Regarding production, spamming military factories. I mean, we've got max infrastructure from kind of our role-playing U.S. historical thing, so we're just spamming nothing but military factories right now. We may need to eventually go into some dockyards, but now is not the time. And importantly, we're getting Concentrated Industry 4, which will give us, of course, more factories to build in all those states. Don't think I'm doing anything weird like building in Hawaii yet, am I? No, but I can do that if I need to. Probably put some dockyards there for good measure. Because the issue, too, is you need dockyards to repair in this game. And right now, I only have 38 dockyards, which is probably enough. I mean, I'm not acting like that's not a good number of dockyards. But if you want a decisive thumping, the problem is basically you have a huge fight, have a whole bunch of ships injured at the same time, and that'll just flood your dockyard usage. And then, of course, your destroyers and your light cruisers are going to get repaired quickly, so that won't be much of an issue. But, battleships and aircraft carriers take forever to repair, and they can only use one single dockyard to repair at a time. That's why it can be incredibly damaging just to inflict heavy casualties to one of those ships, just because they're out of commission for literally months if you do enough damage. Taking a look at the Japanese fleet count, maybe about 300. Our own fleet count, 423. Now, of course, keep in mind, 115 of those are submarines. Historically, the U.S. had a fantastic submarine campaign against the Japanese. We will be emulating some of that, although we did not go for convoy raiding, and we took Halsey for carrier fighting instead. Of course, we need to get a total MOB as soon as we can, once the war breaks out, but that is not now. We will also need to save up, probably now, starting now, a bunch of our PP for that. We were developing aluminum because we are short on aluminum, and we were short on some steel too. So we'll keep doing those events for a bit, but then we got to be careful because every time you do this event, it tacks on an extra 30 days. You're using 12 civilian factories for that. So my point is the diminishing return, your cost, what am I trying to say? Your opportunity cost, there we go, that's the correct term, goes up considerably. For 30 days to get a bunch of steel or aluminum was great. All right, let's roll a day. Let's see what we're actually missing. Says we're actually missing this. Okay, well, that's why I canceled a bunch of trade with the UK. Well, that's odd. I don't know why I would do that, but yeah, I canceled all of our UK trade routes. Of course, we're trading with the UK because they're our buddies in this. We'll start trading with Russia once Russia's actually a buddy, but until then, nope. Okay. So taking a look. Wasted a day of production, but that's all right. So making about 3.7 fighters a day. We're really going hard on the mechanized army for Europe. Although, as my UK campaign, no spoilers there, is suggested though, you might be very careful with how you're invading. They have really stepped up Germany's defense of Europe, or I will say that much, and I'll leave it alone there to not spoil people that are watching their series instead of, or watching the series out of order from when I'm chronologically recording them. In fact, I think that episode's literally uploading right now. So, Thunderbolt's good aircraft. Yeah, just need a bunch of fighters. How many days behind are you guys? 843, 341, 73. Okay, that'll help catch it up. Oh, another thing too, the fleets. We've got a small Asiatic fleet, which is historical. Ta-da! They're of course going to the Philippines, where they were. And we're sending about half of our Pacific submarines out to the Philippines also, because historically we had submarines immediately attacking Japanese convoys as soon as the war kicked off. We've split our two forces into kind of convoy defenses to guard some sea tiles when we're moving troops around. We'll move those as we need to. And we're stationing all the fleet, the Pacific fleet, out of Hawaii. We've got a small reserve fleet back at San Diego. Okay, do we need to start raising any new airplanes right now? No. Okay. Alright, let's get rolling. You know what? While we're just doing stats, let's just show the stats here. Okay, so far, Germany, not many losses. Took some to free France, but only at 137k, so not much at all. UK, atrocious losses, mostly to Italy. 8-13, by the same token, Italy's basically going 1-1 with the UK is what it looks like. And did they conquer Greece in this? No, they've not conquered Greece. Athens is a real hard province to take, just because there's only one attack route unless you take the hill province here. And of course it's an urban tile, but the Greeks fight like hell. It's amazing. Oh, take a look. Yes, we are continuing with our decryption. Who are we decrypting? Germany. You know what? We're going to start on Japan too. Because historically, the U.S. was listening to Japan's codes. I think it was the diplomatic codes. Because one of the things you got to remember too is like in real life, there's multiple codes. Like a diplomatic service would sometimes have a code, the Navy would have a code, the Army would have a code, and I forget exactly which codes the United States were listening to, but I think it was the diplomatic one. And I know eventually, of course, we were listening to the Navy codes too. But okay, got some better support companies. Need more iron. Let's take a look. So we're gonna start producing some Amtraks really quick here. But what else can we do? We can do some of those ahead of time. That's not really worth it. We can do oil. How much will we make in a day? We're gonna need, almost certainly need that, but do we need it right now? Because the question is, it's a matter of priority. What do you need now versus what can wait? Amphibious drive. Start making some amphibious tanks. Yeah. And then other things. You can improve the howitzer, improve heavy gun, improve medium cannon. So actually, that would allow us to upgun, I think, all of our vehicles. So the Sherman right now is using just a basic medium cannon. Tank destroyers. Well, use an improved heavy cannon, so you're good to go for a while. You've got just a medium howitzer. You've got that. Okay. So I'm not sure we want to upgun this right now because we're so far behind. So in fact, we're going to be smart. And we're going to go ahead and... better submarines. Because better submarines are just a tear. Yeah, we don't want to do carriers right now. We could do battleships. Get some good battleships in production just in case the war goes long. We're going to actually go ahead and start on the submarines. Let's make sure I don't have any submarine reducing. Oh, interesting. So I could actually use those for the 1944 ones later. Or do I go with better destroyers? How much of a threat is the UK? Excuse me, Germany sub-threat? No clue. Germany does have a fleet, so... Because the other thing I'm wondering is, better destroyers is always kind of a safe bet. Reason being, you need to keep your lines open and be hunting German submarines at all times. So, I'm going to be rolling into a bunch of naval techs. And honestly, I don't think... No, I'm going to start you now, just so I have it around in case I really desperately need it. See, as the UK, or excuse me, as the US, even with all of your production, yeah, still, and your tech reducing speeds, there's always more stuff you can research that's useful. We're not doing you yet. Let's do the snorkel, so then we can just get the better submarines out there and going. Okay. What was I thinking about? Those numbers are looking okay. That's what I was thinking about, trying to see if I could do a speed reduction here or do any of the senator actions, and the answer is no. So that's another very good ability, but I cannot do it yet. So see, we're only actually producing a few of these a day because we are going so heavily into getting more aluminum right now. Of course, when we do that, we will increase our amount and decrease the amount of factories we need to be trading for, which is quite nice. We're also going heavy into the decryption right now. So anyone in the US even trying to spy on us that we can tell? Little to know. No. So we're going to, again, wait on passive defense. There's no real reason to do it. $564 days, $554 days. How much strength do you guys have? 20,000? 12,000. Interesting. Well, let's keep going. Cost 15 factories. That's not exactly the cheapest ever, but it's worth it. And you know what? I just realized we need to start producing those now. Let them really ramp up. That. Put the guns to the bottom, like I said, in case for some reason we lose some factories. Take one there. Take one there. And of course, as the US, we're probably going to have to go down to export some point. Germany is declared on you go. Do I need to train any other ones yet? Yep. Basically, we really need to get that fighter count up. Do not like having the fighter count that low. Oh, hello. Get those guys training as well. Oh my god, Yugoslavia capitulated in just a few. That was fast. Oh god, that is ugly. That is so ugly. Yeah, and the game's also bad at recreating the fact that Germany was the one that was actually controlling most of Yugoslavia, and they set up the Croatian puppet state, just because Italy gets those claims, and they tend to kind of enforce them. Okay. Of course, I should have realized that would come back immediately. There it is. God, that's beautiful. All these places we can build some more factories. Taking a look at the tech slot here. Now these are so fast, and it would allow me to upgun. I'm not sure I want to upgun right now, like I mentioned, but just for the extra 10% attack, it's probably worth it. And then how many of those do I have? Hold on, there we go. 2 times support bonus for Rock Island. Okay, so I can get 2 of them faster. Honestly, you can wait. I already have the improved heavy cannon. And I'm not running a lot of that. So you 2 are the ones that should get upgraded. Oh, wait a second also. Am I producing any regular artillery? Is this a game I was planning on going rocket? Yep, I was planning on going rocket artillery for the Marines and support companies and things like that. That's right, I'm also trying out field hospitals to see how that works. A lot of people have poo-pooed field hospitals, and with good reason, probably. I'm trying to see if, they really do keep around a good chunk of experienced guys or not. I don't know. I am very curious to see what happens there. So this will probably get duplicated and then converted. Actually, yeah, no, that one's probably cheaper to convert to my amphibious division. Okay. Let's go with... I'm struggling about whether to go with the Navy research or not. I think I just should. Just get ready to build some... But that's the other thing, too. Once you do the battleships, though, you got to get the better guns with the battleships and all that. So it really does take some time. You got to go down the whole line of those techs. You know what? No. We are going to go with some of those artillery techs. I mean, just an extra, 5%, 10%. That's too easy to pass up. Especially because soft attack is so important in this game, because just the AI feels so much stinking infantry. And the biggest problem with the AI, too, a lot of their infantry is just nothing but pure infantry. So it doesn't attack that hard, but they're just like orc walls. So you've got to really just kind of blast through them and try to get through them quickly. Okay. Do that. Then we'll start worrying about our defense later. Carrier primacy. Okay. Now those are all 90 days. There's 60 days for steel. Oh wait, you're only 30 days for steel. Well, that was easy. You know what? We'll just get all of them going. Okay, Bureau of Aeronautics. That's a good point. Let's look at our Air Force. We're actually looking solid in our Air Force. That's the one place we're looking really, really good. Okay. Just thought of it. Make sure I'm producing carrier aircraft. Yes, I am. There they are. Oh, there they are. Okay, a little behind on the naval bombers, but we're still increasing. We go with the rubber company. We're hoping we can just keep the trade lines open for that and get rid of that need. We will want the extra special forces capacity at some point. Well, that is useful. I'm not sure I need that now. Planning speed and maximum command. We will definitely want that long term. I'm not sure it's necessary now. Fund the Navy. Convoy defense. I think those probably should be the next two I take. Let's go with fund the Navy first. And we'll sink those points. Also, bad pun to be using about a Navy and sinking. I realize that, but we'll sink those points into the probably carrier techs and a little bit of the sub too to help them out. Keep them training. We're up to almost 4 fighters a day. Gonna need a hell of a lot more than that, of course, but we want to get those amphibious landing craft going. Trying to skip having normal Marines and just go with these guys instead. Okay, let's do the oil. I don't want to run into fuel issues where I have to start trading for it. It's going to take a long time though, nearly 200 days, but it's the right thing. Yeah, of course we're only pushing 4 lines right now of construction for the simple reason of we've got a lot of factories going elsewhere. But there we go, research grants. Yep. So let's get that speed up. Drop everything by a few days. Excavation, yep. Because we are producing so much stuff. We are clearly do not have the resources at home here, so we're having to trade abroad. That will help ease that. Okay. Get those 3 guys going. Okay, snorkel's done. We still need to wait on the sub body. Other naval techs or let's get you going. Just because I think we do need to build some rockets for support. Now let's decryption. And yeah, we'll get that going also. Improved artillery upgrade. Turkey. The Chester concession. What the heck is this? I have no clue if this is historical or not. I'm assuming it is because this event is popping up. So basically, we give Turkey 3 off-map civilian factories, along with 250% research speeds for excavation. You want to talk about a boost? That's it. Never mind the fact there are some 300% ones in the game, but let's not go there. And then I get a boost of 175% for excavation, so I can use that on excavation 5. Okay, we'll do it. Tizard mission, hell yes. There's the radar text I was looking for. And another fighter, so we can do the Mustang early now, so that'll be good. Okay, UK, you're starting to become a little pain in the butt there, so we'll go down to factory. And let's take a a look at things that got me thinking. Radar, yes. There we go. We got some boost for radar. How long would it be on fighter planes? Still 401 days. So we'll do the radar. Take a look out here. Japan. Can't see what their focus is. Could be trying to declare on me. I don't know. So yeah. Oh, and just for what I've house ruled for the Philippines. I have house ruled it that I get 1 fighter squadron. I get 1 bomber squadron, and I get 1 naval bomber squadron. That's it. And, you know, regarding starting ships here, there's just some heavy cruisers with some light cruisers and a few old destroyers, and the subs, like I mentioned previously. And then regarding our defenses, we just have the Philippine division. Everything else is going to have to be the Philippines trying to defend itself, which it almost certainly will not against the Japanese. So we'll leave that there for now. It's going to be... Actually, I take that back. It's not going to be sucking it up for now. So drop you by 1. And let's amend the budget too. So that gives us some more filling factories to play with. And a lot more because you're the United States. So that. I'm sure I'll need to start building some convoys at some point. Indiana's 60 days. You're 60 days. All you guys are 90 days. Let's take a quick look at things here. Need to be spit out. How are we consuming that much? We must have just put out a new division that's complaining. Yeah. So I've also changed the symbol on our mechanized divisions because it was giving me the same symbol as the medium tanks, and of course that could get confusing. I don't want to, of course, always be able to find the divisions I'm looking for. 26. Okay. So we're doing really well in our prep for Europe. That's our prep in the Pacific. Right now that really needs some help, specifically because we do not have any Marines, because we're trying to get away with not using actual Marine divisions. We're just trying to go straight into the landing, the amphibious landing ones, but we're starting to make those Amtraks, but we need that count to really ramp up. And then once we're able to, we probably will start producing some amphibious tanks also, just because they're, you know, if you're going to go for that, they're useful. We'll leave it at that. I use them to good effect in my Germany campaign. Just to add a lot of firepower when you're hitting the beach. Government Cipher School. 5 factories for another level. Yeah. So Germany's actually on tier 3. We're on tier 2. Japan's only on tier 1. So yeah, let's up it. Okay, take a look. Yes, you need to get training. Pull you out too. You're almost there. Just a reminder, you don't actually train scout wings in this game. Although they can run at peacetime, which will give them experience. Not that it really matters too much. See how fast our factories pop off the line, and then we have to go. Okay. Amphibious operations, yeah, because my gut says I was probably slow on doing the... Yep, landing craft tech. So let's go down the Marine Corps line. Boom, boom, or convoy tactics. We'll take a look. So we're going to get the bonus for convoy tactics, so we're not interested in doing convoy tactics right now. We're interested in making sure our submarines aren't complete shit, as well as our Navy. And what's the final one we're going to do? So I really like subs because they really just go up the Japanese Navy, but we're going to go for the carriers for now. And so we're down to 100 points. I think we do convoy tactics just so we can get 2 levels of convoy defense. There's nothing worse than having nice, expensive divisions and getting sunk at sea completely helpless because you screwed up your convoy defense. I mean, is China actually going to make this thing? Well, no, you've not undertaken Operation Catapult. Okay, you'd be 60 days, 90 days, 90 days, 60 days. We'll do the 60s, and then I think we're going to be done for now. You're 90, 90, 90, 90. Yeah, 90 days of losing 12 factories for only 12 of a resource is probably not worth it at this stage. Maybe long term it will be, but not right now. Oh, there it is. Let's take a look at the time in the video. Okay. So let's crank down the speed here just a little bit. So now the interesting part to note is that was just the Philippines. So now, of course, the Philippines, I think, is going to... Wait, does it flag me? Yeah, it flags me. Okay. Because they are my puppet. Now the UK... Ha! We'll see. That's interesting. Oh, the UK's pushed them back to the border. This is where the really starts getting shitty on the supply. Although they're making gains there and there. So let's take a quick look at things. Of course, I spent off a bunch of points I shouldn't have because we should be saving up for total MOB. But that's okay. Our next few points will go to total MOB. We need more than... Oh, they have enough factories for us to go to total MOB. Once we're at war with Germany, that'll count. So we know we're at war. We can start sending troops out. So the first thing we should do is get the navies going. And the Air Force over here. So... Down South China Sea. Okay, throw those bombers out there. We'll see. And then... Because now we're opening it up. Now I can move stuff around. Because I'm not worried about pre-positioning and just totally neutering the AI. Okay, you're a heavy fighter. You'd be good over here in the Philippines. Basically, the reason why heavy fighters are good can be one, to shoot down strap bombers, not why I'm using them, or two, they just have much better range to be able to cover things. Okay, we're still waiting. Okay, let's look at our Pacific Fleet here. You're going convoy raiding, South China Sea. You can go patrolling, but you might get killed. We'll see. Other things to consider. Okay, there's our 4 submarine, anti-submarine task force. Convoy escort. Where are we going to defend? There. You know what? That might be too far. So the first thing I should consider is what's my good staging ground. So we've got Phoenix Island here. So, like, historically, one of the main issues going on was, of course, Japanese came sweeping in, and they were trying to cut off Australia here by seizing, of course, Guadalcanal and the Solomon Islands, and that kind of a move. So our island holdings are here. Guam's a little on its own. Looking at it, we can see there's a bunch of enemy ships there, a bunch there, none there yet. So, you know what, maybe we sail out and try to take a fight. Eastern Micronesia. Here. So we don't know where exactly they're going to be going. We're going to sail out and look for a fight with our main fleet. So we're going to put them on patrol. I'll send you around here and try to cover Guam. So I put my fleet in Pearl Harbor to give them a chance to use that doctrine and, you know, of course, try to bomb me. They declined, so nothing I can really do about that. So yeah, Eastern Micronesia is actually going to have real problems also. So, first step is let's get troops to Hawaii. So you 3 divisions can be used as garrisons. Let's get you to Hawaii. And
ready to move. Move out.
I'll start railroading you guys over. Just because most of the oh, you're already going.
Ready.
Most of the troops we're going to use in Europe are going to be like all mechanized, so
ready to move.
Keep some around here as garrisons, but and then we need to actually assign our generals for the Pacific. Let's get all of our
yes, sir.
command divisions out here to give them commander.
Commands.
So yeah, if you hold down shift, you can just, you know, you see me just do a quick box over and pick up anyone there. Okay, you guys are defense of the Pacific here. Give your own theater, Pacific. Call you the home theater, of course. And then we will have an Atlantic theater set up in a second once we go to war with some people over there. So who's defending the Pacific theater? Omar Bradley now. Drew Scott, no. So of course we could throw in somebody really good like Omar Bradley, but that just feels like a waste because he's going to go to Europe. Leonard Grau. There we go. William Simpson. He's got a 4 defense, 2 and 2. Infantry commander. Okay. Then of course in the Pacific, we've got none other than Douglas MacArthur.
Listen up.
Okay. Make you the yellow theater.
Ready, sir.
Just to make you distinct. MacArthur has aggressive assaulter for breakthrough. He's also charismatic. We can pick 2 traits. We will pick them both. Great. And let's set up our European theater while we're just thinking about it. I'm gonna make you red. Why not? And take a look here. Of course, set you up under Eisenhower. No one is shocked.
Listen up.
And make you red also. Eisenhower's stats. He can pick 1 more. Army offense guy. Could be planning speed, could be fast planning, could be thorough planning, or it could be charismatic. He's a logistics wizard also. I mean, thorough planning really kind of sounds like Eisenhower to a T, so I'm going to go with thorough planning. Okay. Then regarding this force, it is our mechanized force. So I think Omar Bradley is probably our best pick for the mechanized force. And of course, we've got to do Patton for the tanks. Don't worry. Cody Hodges actually is, you can already pick that. You know what? Interesting. So we'll give Patton his Panzer leader. But Hodge is here. So is anyone a cavalry commander? Because cavalry commander will speed up on both mechanized and motorized. Vandergrift, of course, will be our naval forces. Lucian Truscott, cavalry commander. Okay. And he's also got commando, too. Interesting. But he'll actually be our mechanized force guy. Not the highest, but the 3-3 is not bad. Then he's got the cavalry leader, so he'll level up fast with those guys. Okay. And eventually we'll need to start exercising those, taking a look at things here. Medium tank destroyers 313 days. Self-propelled artillery 130, 260. So what am I really behind on? It's really the tank destroyers that are holding us up. 313 days. Yeah, okay. So let's find the tank destroyer. Give an extra 2 there. So obviously still trying to boost our Air Force big time. Take a look here. Get you start deploying. Okay, that looks good. And we are going with a strap bomber force. Now, of course, that's risky because strap bombers only do their damage over time. So if you need a quick hit where you just knock somebody out, strap bombers are basically next to useless. Okay. Keep some of our reserve fleets back and take a look. So right now our Pacific Battle Fleet is in one main fleet, but as time goes on, that is a defensive maneuver. As time goes on, we'll probably fan them out into multiple fleets. So we've got a good amount of battleships with them too. They're heading out to the Mariana Islands. So step 1, get a bunch of troops to Hawaii. And you know what, just to be safe, we will put our guys here on convoy escort, covering Hawaii, here, and here. So all of our lines to Hawaii should be safe now. So we'll keep time rolling a little bit. See, this is weird. Almost always the British are like, hey, you're at war. Come to our faction right now, right now, right now. Why aren't you in the faction now? We're Britain. Come. But that is not the case. And of course, there we go. First, the Battle of Guam. You know what? I didn't set up any coastal defenses. Interesting. Well, let's try to work on that. No. Well, not a level 10 one. Also, if you put like coastal fortresses to level 10, like the AI will never crack that. Like, once again, I'm not interested in playing like that, and I could set up some on Philippines, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, what's your shore bombardment? It's only 3%. Okay. It's awfully low. I don't know what they're shore bombarding with, but... So let's take a quick look. Are there any things we should be doing? Naval targeting efficiency. That's probably the right decision. Not making any new ships right now. We're definitely going to need that later. So I could spend the 100, but I'm going to need to use some of those points to design subs. So I'm not going to do that. And then mobile defense. We definitely want, look at that, 10 defense to everything. But we do not have right now. So they just might org wall us to death here. We'll see. I've got a very good commander there. 7. Yes, China, I will not invade you. South China Sea. First catch of the day. Ah, yeah. How about my other sub-fleet? Derp derp. You know what? You're going to the Mariana region also. We're sending our main battle. If it's good enough to send our main battle fleet there. Oh, they're going for Wake also. No, I couldn't even get the Wake Island level 1 up. That's not good. Down early Japanese sub. Took down 4 Japanese convoys. Oh, some of those divisions are really good at landing. And Guam held. Okay, with Guam holding, we'll give you some coastal forts. Good job, buddy. And then, you know what? We're gonna see if we can make a new submarine force. Okay, you guys need to get exercising. You're just some destroyers. You're fine. Okay, so we're gonna pull the subs out of here. And we're gonna start another sub force. Then you're gonna turn you on convoy rating and send you out. So basically, we want everything, all of the sea zones to be littered with American subs. You know, long term, not at the beginning of the game. It would completely neuter the Japanese because then they can't make any moves. But basically, that's how you stop the Japanese from convoy raiding. Not convoy raiding. You convoy raid them to death, and they can't go anywhere. So they're attacking Wake like they did historically. I think we're gonna lose Wake like we did historically, except Wake I think fell the second attack, not the first one. This is of course the first attack, but they've got some decent divisions here. I mean, there's no way. They're holding. There's a Japanese fleet out there. Alright, here's our subs. So let's make some 1940 submarines. Okay. Of course, we're going to pick the historical names. Don't want to mess around with that. Subs. Snorkel. That. More torpedoes. And then the speed. Makes you even less visible. So yeah, that costs 20 points. Not the cheapest thing ever. But biggest deal is the visibility. The visibility is 12. Let's take a look and compare that to what we were using before. The submarine we were using before was a 19. So, of course, the less visible you are, the better, because you want to be sneaky, sneaky. Speaking of sneaky, sneaky, we could increase the damage of torpedo attacks. Could also do damage control. There's a lot of good things we're going to need some naval experience for here, really quick. But most importantly, new carrier research. We're not gonna mess around with that. Okay. So we're hunting a fleet here. Are we actually gonna catch it? Looks like we should catch it. No. Now it's decreasing. Okay, Wake Island has fallen. Alas. And... oh, wow, that was dumb. I didn't have the Air Force out. Speaking of not having Air Force out, jeez. Take a look. Are there any naval bombers? Yeah, you're good enough. Send you to Guam. As I've mentioned many times, yeah, it's not historical. They just get to fly there. You know, realistically, bombers or even any planes going that range were going to be boxed up and sent out to the Pacific, because the Pacific is just huge. Okay. Eastern Micronesia, what are they targeting there? Oh, that was Wake. Okay. Okay, Phoenix Island. Good. You're getting your defenses. And that's the other thing, too. Level 3 defenses are so cheap. And we'll build up Johnston, too. We want Midway to finish. We want Hawaii to finish. We want Phoenix to finish. So the radar stations will take a lot more time. I think they maybe hit a convoy of mine. Maybe not. Okay. Patrol there. Taking another 4 Japanese convoys down. Nice. What's going on here? Whoa! Japanese are flying a serious amount of Saratoga here. Yeah, our carriers were getting hit with naval bombers. Big time. Okay. So we're going to need to get the hell out of here. They've got way too much stuff here. Yeah, about 400 planes there. Another, yeah, okay. We're going to do this fight, then we're getting the hell out of here. Okay. So that was a good fight. Took out 10 Japanese destroyers. 2 cruisers for nothing. Now the problem is, we need to get the hell out of here. This is not a good zone for us. So, take a look. Pacific Fleet. You're no longer in the zone. Straits of Malacca. Looking for where the Japanese are. But here's the issue. Those carriers just got smacked around. So actually, I think we're going to pull you out to Hawaii, do some repairs. Yeah. We'll pull you out to Hawaii, do some repairs, then we can send you back out. But we're not going to risk losing that fleet like that. Radar would be another good tech. Got that set up, so yeah. Basically, new ships are going to have really good radar, obviously, on them. Hold off there. Yeah, eventually we'll need those, but you know what? We're going to go with the radar. And you know what? We're going to clip the video here. It's right about the hour mark. See you in the next one.